The Equites Property Fund is a Cape Town-based industrial and logistics-focused fund. It listed in June 2014, market cap of 7.7 billion rand, historic yield here of 5.9%.
This is the one that I knew the least about. I mean, I've seen their SENS results come through all the time, but I actually had to go and look up where the portfolio was based. So I'm hoping you can tell us more.
I'm glad you're on the desk, given that introduction.
You guys are making this difficult for me. So very, very interesting play. And it's been quite interesting to see how robust the industrial sector has been. So immediately when we mention industrial, people tend to think of factories and rundown warehousing, where if you have a look on the Equites website at the type of properties that they have, I mean, these are A-grade warehousing facilities. And I think what's very interesting internationally, and I know, Paul, you're a big fan of online retail, and I definitely think that's a trend we've already discussed, and it's a trend here to stay. But the online retailers don't have a physical presence, but they still require big warehousing and big distribution nodes. And this is kind of the space that Equites plays in, predominantly in South Africa, but they do have one warehouse in the UK that they actually rent out to Amazon. And what's quite nice about this is triple net leases, which means that Equites just provides the building, the tenant pays them the rent, but the tenant has to do all the maintenance, the water and the lights, and all the fitting within the warehousing.
Interesting business model there.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, that is the story. No front end, but big infrastructure for holding stock, which is fabulous.
Can we get the share price graph up here? I'd like to. Now, that is the first really good looking share price graph that we've seen in the stocks that you've chosen, Grant.
Well, we didn't see the one on Green Bay, but that was also very, very interesting. But it has been a very, very solid performer. And like
Can it continue with that performance is probably the key question.
I think they've got the right strategy, and I do think that there is demand. I think as big retailers we've seen, they're all looking at their supply chains to really maximize returns. So I do think, given the quality of their portfolio and given the value that they add to their clients, I definitely think that it is a good strategy, and they will maintain some level of performance. Whether they'll be able to maintain that performance remains to be seen.
Talking quickly about management and the sort of roots of the company, the guy who is the CEO, whose name is Andrea Taverna Turistan, is an immigrant into South Africa that actually developed like 6 properties. This company bought them, and then he became the group CEO, but he looks like quite a talented individual.
He is, and I think obviously the performance of the share chart speaks to that. But as we've mentioned already, you really need networks within this property space, and I do think, given his background, he definitely does have those networks.
Hot or not, Grant?
I'm going to go hot, looking at that chart.
Hoping we can continue with that performance, Paul.
Why not? Let's go hot on that.